Hope TV Ghana. My name is Evie, the host for the show, and today we have a very interesting story for discussion. It is a story that majority of the youth, if I should dare say, can relate to. It's a story that is quite disheartening. You know, I will speak for myself. Growing up, you go to school, you make the grades, you go to the university, you get your degree, and then we all have these big dreams of after school, I'm going to work in this company, I'm going to be paid this amount. By age 25, I'll have my own car. By age 27, I'll probably have an apartment. If marriage is something that's on my mind, I'll look forward to that. I'll have a husband, I'll have children, but most importantly, we all hope that we will have that job that will give us that salary that we've been dreaming of. The salary that can take care of our families, that can pay those trips that we want to go to, that can afford us a comfortable life. But just like most dreams, you wake up and reality sets in. You realize that you are 25, you don't have a job. You're 27, you're not doing anything meaningful. You are 30 and you still do not have that job that you wish you had. And you ask yourself, where do I go from here? How is this life going to pan out? Where are all the dreams? Did I make a mistake? Was going to school even important? What is the essence of having a certificate that cannot fetch you a job? This is the type of story we have on our table today to discuss. It's a reality for most people, and we are glad that we have the opportunity to have the conversation. It is always a privilege to come into your homes every Wednesday in the studios of Hope TV Ghana, but we're also live on Facebook and YouTube, Hope TV Ghana. Realtalk is very interactive, so I would ask that you go into our social media comment section and leave your thoughts and your suggestions. Whatever you think of the story, go ahead and leave it under the comment section. I don't do this by myself. I do this with panelists that are ready to have the conversation, panelists that are ready to tell you the reality on the ground. And today I have two amazing gentlemen with me in the studio going to have the conversation. My very own channel manager is in the studio today. And if you know anything about Mr. Hammond, he does not mince his words. He's ready to have the conversation. Me, Ayite Hammond, is in the studio with me. Good evening. It's very strange looking at you across this table. I always look at you from this angle. Like, it's so strange looking at you across this table. But how are you doing?
God is good to me. How are you doing too?
I'm also fine.
You know, your producer pulled me here.
That little one, I mean, but she does well with her job. She does well with her job. So,
definitely.
Yeah, if she can't get anybody, I'm sure she can find just the right person to have the conversation. But it's good to have you in the studio, Mr. Hammond. We are going to talk about a story that I don't know if you can relate to. Backstage, I was teasing you and saying, oh, Mr. Hammond, he's never had any struggles of looking for a job. In fact, he's never written an application letter before. He just completed, Mr. Was it O-levels or A-levels? Or your age is showing. I should keep quiet. I'll say Wasi. He went to Wasi. He's a very young man. He went to Wasi and then he went to the university. And then after he got a job, you know, that's how faithful God has been in his life. But he'll tell us all about that. Next to him is Raymond Kweku Boateng. Raymond, how are you doing?
I'm fine.
How has your week been?
Oh, it has been well, by God's grace.
Yeah. Is this a story you can relate to? Graduate unemployment?
Not yet. I'm a graduate and having my national service currently.
Oh.
Yeah,
so you're part of the people hoping, the story I just shared. The hope that you get that dream that will fund all your life activities.
Sure.
I pray you do.
Amen.
Amen. Okay, so let me just go straight into the story and then we'll go for a break, then we'll have the conversation. So this one says, Dear Realtalk, my life story, when everything fails. I walked across the graduation stage with pride and hope. First class honors, best student in my department. That day, I believed my life was about to change. That was 5 years ago. 5 years since I stepped into the world with my degree, filled with ambition and dreams. 5 years of waiting, trying, and endless disappointment. After national service, I did what every graduate does. I started looking for a job. I wrote applications, sent out CVs, knocked on doors, hundreds of them. I refreshed my email every second, hoping to see, Dear applicants. We are pleased to inform you, but all I got was, we regret to inform you, or worse, silence. I started wondering, is my degree even real? I watched my classmates move on. Some found jobs, some traveled abroad, some built businesses. I clapped for them, supported them, celebrated them. But deep inside, my question haunted me. When will it be my turn? I told myself, if a job won't come, I'll create my own opportunity. I took my small savings and started a food joint. I woke up at dawn, cooked in bulk, stood behind a stall, served customers, and fought to make it work. At first, things seemed promising. Then sales dropped, customers stopped coming, expenses increased, the little money I had vanished. Then the business collapsed. Still, I refused to give up. I went for a loan, thinking maybe if I tried again with a better plan, things would work. That too ended in failure. Now I am in debt, and I have nothing to show for it. So I went back to job hunting. I submitted emails every day, hoping someone would give me a chance. I even asked people to alert me if they heard of job openings, but nothing came. I attended interviews, smiled, answered questions, spoke confidently. Some said we'll get back to you, yet they never did. Some told me, you are overqualified. How can I be overqualified for hunger? Some didn't even acknowledge my application. I would wake up in the morning, check my phone, check my emails, nothing. I have prayed, fasted, and cried, but nothing has changed. I see my mates moving forward, and I feel like I'm stuck in one place. I hear my parents sigh quietly, even though they don't say anything. I see my younger siblings waiting for me to be their role model, but how can I inspire them when I feel like a failure? I have tried businesses, loans, job applications, connections, everything. Nothing is working. I can't tell if my path is not business or if my path is not a job. Or maybe I have no path at all. I am exhausted. I feel forgotten. I don't even know what I am waiting for anymore. I hear people say, it will be well. But will it? I don't know what else to do. Is it that God has forgotten me? Or does he just not care? Please, what should I do? This is a very sad story. You can see that our writer is on the verge of losing all hope. In their opinion, they've tried everything. They've tried searching for a job. They've tried creating jobs for themselves. They've tried going in for loans, and nothing seems to be working. Now they wonder if God still cares about them or he's forgotten about them. Before we even start, I'd like to let you know that God has not forgotten about you. He cannot forget about you. He knows you. He thinks of you. He cares for you. And his plans for you are much bigger than you have for yourself. We'll have to go for a quick break. When we come back, we'll dive right into the conversation. Please do not go anywhere. This is Real Talk. We'll be right back.
As 2000 Asafu Edinfi share Adionum, Erade Asedan Kaudi.
25th anniversary of our 2007th Day Adventist Church, North Centreso Kumasi.
Bekoso we are so down ho North Centreso. I ben house ho Busminum and there Tosumi and Sa.
3rd May 2025.
Assemble try da you media by the Yankopo Edgo and then the home bro. Na yem
25 years of God's grace, mercy, and love. Royal guest of honor, Bafo Ejay Fosuchichi Kwa Abedio, Utumfo Ananta Hine. Special guest of honor, Honorable Dr. Frank Amwako Hine, Ashanti Regional Minister. Guest of honor, Honorable Francis Asenso Boache, Member of Parliament, Bantima Constituency. Guest speaker, Pastor Dr. Kwame Anoboahe, President, Mid-Ghana Union Conference. Other ministers in attendance, Pastor Yao Asamoah Kwaten, President, Central Ghana Conference, Pastor Anthony Amoa, District Pastor Patase, and the host pastor, Pastor Joseph Opoku Echampo.
Erade ayade.
Enu nti odofo me ton safro se bra. Mayan kamon fa se da ma otumfo nyame.
Mumra mayan kambo mundia vusi.
25 years of God's grace, mercy and love.
Come and experience the power of thanksgiving, worship, and fellowship. Don't miss out.
May God bless you for coming.
Welcome back from that quick break. We are still in the studios of Hope TV Ghana, coming your way with Real Talk. You can also watch us live on Facebook and YouTube as well, Hope TV Ghana. So we are still coming to have the discussion of the life of a graduate, you know, after this endless search of a job and nothing seems to be working. What do you do? Where do you go from there? I'm going to start with Raymond. Raymond, you said you're doing your national service.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure, are you writing applications? Or you're hoping that where you're doing your service, they maintain you?
I have that hope, but I'm not considering staying.
You're not considering staying?
So definitely I'll need to write applications, but not settled yet.
Okay. What field would you like to work? This, you know, Hope TV is a big channel.
Yeah.
Somebody might, you never know. Put your hopes out there.
Okay, I hope to continue my education.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the plan. If that, I wouldn't say it will not work, but if
that will work.
Yeah, that won't work.
When you say education, is it like teaching? Like what's in education?
No, do my masters.
You want to further your education and do your masters.
Yeah.
So you're not looking for a job.
No, really.
You want to further and do your masters.
Yeah.
Okay, that's another angle to it. Okay, but let me ask you the reality of graduate unemployment. Have you heard stories? Have you heard things like this? Have you heard from your friends who have graduated that are saying, Raymond, it's not easy out here. Oh. We've been out 2, 3, 4 years and we are still not finding the job. And why do you think graduates are, even the degree holders, are struggling to get a job? Is there an issue of Ghanaian unemployment? Is there an issue of companies not wanting to pay them their due? What do you think is the problem?
Okay, so from the field of study that I pursued, I did theological studies and education as a minor, and the reason why I added the education was that fear.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Because we Adventists, and after theological studies, you just go into a conference to either employ you. So they had that fear that, well, they might not engage me. So then add education so that if you are not being engaged, you can go into the teaching field.
Oh.
So I think that was the reason why I did education, for that uncertainty that may come my way. And I hear of my colleagues and seniors who share same. And even quite scary, a lecturer who was taking us some number of courses said that he had graduated, I think, 13 years back, and he still has some friends who have not been engaged by a conference.
13 years.
13 years. So at the time when he was taking us through our studies, I don't know if it was a scary trap he was sending our minds towards or not. So I had a closer friend who was 2 years ahead of me. He stayed home 2 years, and he has now been engaged, but not on a contract basis, and put it that way. So I have friends that I relate with that I don't know, it puts us on a certain fear. But the issue is that they always say the economy, the economy. We don't know which economy that they are referring to, but they will say that it is the economy. The economy is not favorable to employers, so they are kind of on hold now.
Wow.
And again, the field of study that I pursued, somehow you are limited to either a conference or the teaching field.
Okay.
The teaching field. So I think that might be also another reason, if I'm talking from my
specifically for you,
from my side. And again, the age gap. See, I'm quite young, and the job market seems to wanting someone who is quite mature into the ministry. So if it is for ministry and per my age, the audience that I'm going to meet or shepherd will want somebody who is quite older, married, have experience. So you mostly need to undergo some shepherding, go with a certain pastor for a quite number of years. Before you are engaged. Before, well, life will be well, let me put it that way, for you on that tangent. And we also hear that unless somebody knows you. Unless somebody knows you. And quite fortunately, unfortunately, my father is not a pastor.
Okay.
So he's just a church elder. And if your father is a pastor, it mostly favors you in our field of work. And I believe other graduates, if perhaps your father is known, it gives you a certain upper hand over those of us who do you know, as they mostly put it. So for some of us who, our fathers are not pastors, our uncles are not pastors, that fear is there. But I hope it's in God. That when we write the applications through, at least based on the experiences we've had, the internship we've had so far, can give us an upper hand so that we'll be considered.
I mean, that's very specific to the field that you're in, but when we speak about who do you know, I think that's across board, even with every other field. Ghana, it's not even about who do you know, it's who knows you. You can know people, but if they don't know you, they're not going to put anything out there in your interest. But let's come to Nia Ite Hammond. Generally, why do you think graduates are not getting a job? Why are they struggling? Is it the economy? Is it employers saying that, you know what, our money for this fiscal year is up, we are not going to add more people? Is it an issue of maybe they should go into entrepreneurship and do something else? What is the struggle? Is it also an issue of the schools putting out more people than the companies have availability to employ?
All of that together.
Joined together.
Yeah, it's all of that, you know, because the system could be limited in terms of employment spaces. It could also be that you might be a graduate, but you are not employable.
Oh. Okay.
You get it?
Yeah.
You might be a graduate and you're not employable. And it's not everybody also who eventually is supposed to be employed. Some will become employers themselves. You get me? So it's always good to try to find your space as you're going. You know, most of us, you know, when we're going to school, all we know is that I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a doctor, I want to be an HR, I want to be a this, I want to be a this. So I just go into school. Yeah. You know, because that is the first step. You get me? But even how to prepare yourself, you know, it's not just getting the first class or whatever it is, but how to prepare yourself for the job market is also another area altogether that one needs to look at. So everywhere, not only in Ghana, even in the developed countries, they have unemployed. You get me? So unemployment is a challenge. But how do you prepare yourself to be employed if you want to be employed? Or how do you prepare yourself to be an employer if you want to go into entrepreneurship or any of those things?
I think before I come back to Raymond Stamman, I want you to speak on the how to make yourself employable. Is it a course you have to take? Is it practical steps you have to take? Is it like what are those steps you have to take to be employable? Is it how you present yourself during interviews, or is it even the course we go and do in universities that limits our success to employment?
You know, university studies are supposed to broaden your mind. So once you go to university, when you come out, you're supposed to be sort of an all-rounded person. Yes. You get me? It's supposed to get you to think. And so once you think, you should be able to succeed in life generally. You get me? And that's how you need to first prepare yourself. You've gone to school, you have knowledge. You don't think that I have a certificate in HR. So whatever it is, I must be an HR manager. Not necessarily. You get me? And if you look at, for example, we take the story, you know, she says I've dropped hundreds of CVs. You get me? If you drop generic CVs, you get generic responses. You get me? Because you've just done one CV and you're taking it everywhere. Yes. You are not even taking your time to understand the company that you are sending your CV to. What is it that they do? What is it? What are their challenges? What are their difficult, their success areas? What are they looking for? Where can I fit in? How do I present my CV to make them feel that I'll be an asset. You know, all those things but you've done a generic CV, you sent it. They receive thousands of such generic CVs. You get me? So you are not any different from anybody. But your approach, your mindset is all necessary in determining how you face the market in which you're going into.
Yeah, I completely agree. Just 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks, I had this rare opportunity to, what is the word I'm looking for? To hire somebody to understudy me in my day job. And we sent out application and I had to go through it. And the number of applications that we got and the types of applications that I saw, I have never done HR in my life, but I had a little glimpse into how annoying HR work might be when it comes to hiring. It will shock you the lazy way that we put together our CVs. There's a name here, there's an email somewhere, there's a number somewhere, and the person has just literally bullet communicator, detailed oriented. Just, and I got 54 and I had to pick only 4. If I see the front page and I won't even look. You see, so Mr. Amon, I can understand when you say things like how we prepare ourselves and how we post generic CVs for every. I have done it before. I'll see a job listing. I say, oh, then I'll just the old one. I'll just go and put it together 1, 2, 3, and then just send it. But that was something I drafted for an earlier application or job, what's it called, advertisements that I saw. Raymond, I'll come to you and ask, do you think we just want white-collar jobs? Is that why we are struggling to get jobs? Because when we come out of school, especially after national service, we want the jobs that, for the women, we want the jobs that we can wear high heels and wear pencil skirts and then wear long sleeves. So that when we see our friend in town, I'm going to work, they'll see that. So if it is not in the bank or it's not a job that requires you to dress that way, we generally do not want to do it. Do you think this is an issue? Are we too dependent on white-collar jobs? Or you think this generation, we are quite open to doing other things, you know? Because I personally know that the money is not in those fields. It's a fact.
Yeah, from your concluding statement, I think you mostly experience that when you get there. But seeing from afar, you can't really read it.
Oh, it's nice. It's beautiful.
Yeah, those are the banks go to bank with their cars. The teachers go there with their cars. You see that dressing. But I think viewing it from afar, it promises. It promises. So, well, we see nurses, how they dress, how cool their lives are. We see bankers. We see the white-collar jobs, how life outside looks, then it is quite attractive. Why not you also consider that? And I think so that's why we may consider that tangent here, and we didn't worry ourselves to be entrepreneurs perhaps ourselves or on that line. So it is fine. That'll be one.
Yeah.
That one. And I think secondly, it's quite easier in landing into such works. That's what we think. Because just after your degree, you write applications, then you know the clear path that you are going.
Yeah.
So if it's the banking field, after HR, marketing, management, any of the business related programs, then you think that after going through doing your hard studies, then a good application will land you into that job. That's quite easier than you starting up something before you get that hit. And per the age structure, well, by she said 25, even before 25, you get your first degree, you start that banking, or life will be smoother or comfortable for you. So I think it is that mindset. That's why we mostly settle for such programs, wanting to land into that white-collar jobs. So that's it.
The blue, the one they call blue-collar job. I'll go to me, Aita, and I'll ask about the issue between business and then what's the other word? Employment. Okay. Now, when you don't have a job, or when you search and you're not getting, they say, do your own thing. You know, people are making money. You can do your own thing. You can set up this. You can set up, but it's not every head that can do business. It's either you are going to spend all your money, including your profits, and your capital and come back to square one, or you're going to fail woefully. I guess my question to you is, how do you know if business is for you? How do you know that, okay, I want to do business and I will succeed at it? How do you immediately point out and say, no, I know myself enough to know that this is not for me? I have a friend that says, as for me, I will always work for somebody. I can't do my own thing because I know that if I do my own thing, I'll fail. It's either I'm going to think, oh, today I got 1,000 cedis and I'm thinking that is my money and I'll spend it all that day, or I won't manage it well. So she knows for a fact that she will always work for somebody, and she has prepared for that. And so how do you come to the conclusion where you know yourself enough to know that I can do business, business is for me, or you can even say, no, business is not for me, I have to work for somebody? Okay.
You know, everything in this world is about mindset and how you prepare yourself. You know, you naturally, probably, if you look at your life and the way you've been living it, you can say that the way I spend or the way I do my things, I don't think I can look over somebody. You get me? So it makes it a little bit difficult for you. But everything in this world is about knowledge. And so if things are not working and you want to establish a business, it's about training yourself. Because being disciplined is about training. You can be somebody who is not disciplined in terms of how you spend and how you do your things, but situations will make you disciplined. You get me? And so it depends on what you want to do. So if you put your mind to it that, you know what, I don't want to establish a business by my own. I want to work for somebody. Then you know how to set your mind to do that. And if you feel that, okay, things are not working, I think let me try setting up something on my own. You also must educate yourself. You must read, look at the experiences of others, see the challenges of others. You know, one thing that is affecting a lot of young people is the issue of wait. Okay. We don't have the patience to wait. Your father has worked 20, 30 years. He's now building a house. You want to build a house your first year of work.
But they say we should do better than our parents.
Yes, we should do better than our parents, but we must learn from the challenges and experiences of our parents. You get me?
Yeah.
And that is why we are dying younger.
True. It's sad, but it's
you
true.
get me? Because you are stressing yourself for nothing. You know, I want to gain all so that I will enjoy. But you gain all, and the time you are supposed to enjoy, you are using all your gain to treat ailments. You get me? If we understand the word wait and patience, we'll be able to do a lot more. You get me? For example, like I was saying, you want to work, you want to do your own business. You have to learn. Sometimes it might even require that you understudy somebody in that business in which you are. The other thing too that we refuse to do as young people, we prefer to stay home 5 years to say we are unemployed for 5 years instead of doing volunteer work for 5 years to add up to our CV. You understand me? How can I go and do volunteer work? He's benefiting and he's not paying me. You are building your CV. You are building yourself. So when you send your next CV the year later to another company, you have 1 year of experience working somewhere. It adds up to your worth. You understand me? But if you are home, you say I'm unemployed, you are not working. Every morning you eat at home, you go walk around, go visit friends, etc. You say I'm chasing job, I'm not getting. And there are people in your hood, in your area, etc. There are jobs. And you are not willing to just knock on the door and say, you know what, I want to come and volunteer my services. Who knows, you do volunteer 3 weeks, the kind of energy and things you put in the work, the the owner of the work will say, you know what, even though I'm not ready to employ, I can give you some allowance. It starts from somewhere. You get me? It is not, who cares about first degree? Nobody cares about first degree. It's just paper.
True.
You might have first degree and be dumped up there in terms of your work, the work ethics and all that. So if I'm employing you, I mean, you come for an interview, I'm speaking to you, you know, and I'm asking you very, from your point of view, useless questions, you know, which you don't think are related to the job. You know, and you didn't even ask me anything. You get me? But I'm trying to understand your psyche as a person. You get me? So you feel you have what it takes, but you don't. So if we don't train ourselves, I mean, not the formal training I'm talking about, but in terms of reading, understanding, studying, knowing what it is, the world out there really is like, you would walk.
Yeah, I agree. Raymond, have you ever started a business before?
I don't think so.
Okay, so you've never tried your hands at business before. Is it because you think it is not your thing, or you don't have the time for business, or just like my friend, you're okay working for somebody?
Oh, no, not really. I think so far my circle somehow has determined that, and I wanted to speak in addition to what Mr. Hammond was saying. We know of certain friends that are pursuing certain programs because of family businesses that they've come to meet, because of where parents want their world to go through that line, and it's quite fine for them. But quite unfortunately, we have a lot of people that parents don't know that. Our circles also don't educate us on that tangent, so we just walk through it. So it was after SHS, I went to teach, then I came to university. After university, I've been engaged by the university doing my national service. So that's why I have not run a business on my own. Yeah, but I think in deciding, some individuals are very fortunate that because of some family line businesses, they are being trained under that line in succeeding that. Some because of other brothers who are quite educated or literate, they help them train their path. But to the larger extent where they don't have anybody, parents can read, so they are just on their own, and their associates don't also help them to explore. I think deciding then comes in that you need to pay attention to what will work well for you. You need to be more disciplined. You need to be more directed and do your best with it, so that it helps, so that it pays off for you. So that's what I can say.
So you think that that also leads to why some young entrepreneurs fail at being entrepreneurs, because they don't take their time to know this is what is for me. Yeah. Pay attention to the field they are going in.
Sure. What drives you? At times, I listen to motivational speakers, those that have made it, and they'll say it's not just for the money. That's why they are into that. Either they want to provide. Yeah. Well, Mr. Amon will speak to that one.
Why are you putting this down?
He's the manager for now. So they would either say they wanted to provide surveys, or wanted to add value, or wanted to solve a problem. Yeah. Then the riches followed suit. But I think in our time, it's the other way we run. We are motivated because of the monies in that way. So, what is trending? That's what we mostly follow.
True.
I remember going to the days I was young, but I learned people were not going in for nursing trainees and teacher trainees. There came the allowance doing course administration. Yes. Yeah, so these days, so there's allowance, so then go in. There's allowance, so people go in for that. Then in a technological age now, those in IT, computer science, and at times businesses, they are doing well. So why don't you also venture into that angle then?
Everybody's child is doing coding now, am I lying?
So you make it.
Coding is a new doctor.
You know? But I think every work comes with its own work ethics, and it might be a challenge for you. People fear blood, so you can't go into the nursing, the health field. Yeah, so I think they are all avenues, but knowing yourself well and how you can be more efficient is very important. But the question comes back, how can we know ourselves well at even the younger stage, so that you can rally on that and go into that line? And this comes this program, because when I read the story, I said, oh, then that's fine. In that frustration that the the person is writing to this, I think he still sees there's a hope.
Yeah.
From Realtalk. So I will encourage you that they pay much attention to this program.
Okay.
Because resource persons like Mr. Ahmad yourself will engage for now. will really engage the youth on tangent that they need to have their life and it will be of help.
Thank you for doing free adverts for us on Realtalk. We are very grateful. But before we go for a break, but Mr. Ahmad, I want to pry a little. I want to pry into your life a little. I've known you to be in the media space since I've known you, which is like years ago. Even before, I'm sure you knew me. That's what I was talking about. Who knows you or not? you know. You've been in the media space for the majority of the time I have known you. Is that how it set out for you? Did you know that, as for me, after your WASI, you are going into you are going into media, and that's what you're going to do? Or you've tried your hands at other things before you finally came to this decision? I want people to understand the journey that it took, and then when they see you now, they'll say, "Oh, I want to be like Enia Ite Hammond, but I just want to start and be a channel manager."
You know,
is it memory lane? It's not that far. I don't do like this. Don't look like this of 1974. We all know that it's not that far.
No, yeah, I don't. One thing about work is that if your work is your hobby, you never work any day.
True.
You get me? If your work is your hobby, you never work anyway. I trained as an electrical technician.
You are kidding me. I would have never guessed. I would have never guessed.
I trained as an electrical technician.
Okay.
But I liked the entertainment space.
Right.
I liked the tourism space. You know, when I was in at that time, Accra Poly, I was entertainment secretary.
Oh.
You know, I mean, those are areas that I liked.
Okay.
Naturally, you get me. And so when I graduated, and everybody was, when I say everybody, I'm talking about my family, was get a work. You know, when you graduate, get a work. That's the first thing. And so, in the field of study, I did it because it was a course. You get me? It was a course, and so I didn't follow, though. You know, so I was just trying to do my own things, and then I went into that space, entertainment space. You get me? And I started working. You know, I traveled out.
Yeah.
And when I traveled out, I studied editing, graphics.
Oh, okay.
And then I came back, you know. And one thing about traveling is that, especially when it's the first time of travel, you know, when you go out, there's so much knowledge, so much that you come back with so much.
Yeah, you are gingered
to do.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you want to work on your own and all that. But you come and realize quickly that it doesn't happen that easy.
True.
You know. So, but I started in doing a little bit, few graphics here and there, editing here and there. It wasn't really paying enough. But that is what I wanted to do. So I had to follow it. You get me? And that's what's led me here today.
Wow.
You know, it's not been an easy road. It's been a difficult road, but it is an exciting road.
Yeah.
And it depends on how well you psych yourself. You get me? And how, you know, a lot of people also, they're looking for a job, but all they're looking for is a means to an end. And so even when they get a job, they're just looking at what is coming to me at the end of the day. They are not doing the job as if it were theirs.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's also important, because even if you're working for someone, you must work as if the work is yours. Because if you work that way, your employer would come to love you the more, because it's like you love the job more than him.
Yeah.
You get me?
Yeah.
And it also opens doors for you, because when you're working, don't forget that others would also be seeing what you're doing. You get me? And that is why I always say it's important to volunteer, because I did that at the beginning of my time.
Yeah.
You get me? You volunteer, you dedicate yourself to the work. It's not that because I'm volunteering so I can come at 9:30, I leave at 2 o'clock, 12 o'clock, I say I'm going for lunch, I don't come back. No. you get me? You're dedicated to the job. When you do things that way, it opens up more avenues for you. Maybe the place that you are volunteering might not even be where you end up. Somebody might come and see your work in that place and will be chatting with you and know that, oh, you don't have a job. Come, I have this job here for you, because of what the person has seen.
True.
You get me? True. And so it's important that you might not know who you are or what you want, but the moment you realize that I need to survive, it is enough for you to know that I need to take a step back and start reasoning. I shouldn't be acting like a child any longer. I need to prepare myself and go into that stage of trying to understand yourself, understand who am I, what do I like, what are my interests, what can sustain me, and you start working towards it. One step at a time. Don't rush it. One step at a time. Understand, you want to start a business. Everybody is selling water, so you too start selling water. No. You need to understand the business in which you are. Let's say you are a campus. Everybody is selling water, so you are selling water. But have you tried to find out what kind of water do these people like? What kind of options are available to them? Maybe everybody is selling bottled water. Why not I sell sachet water? You have to look at where you are and what you're doing. Everybody is selling tomatoes. Charlie, this place, let me go there. They sell there. Everybody's buying tomatoes. You get me? And so you go and take money and you come. You didn't know that all the people who are selling, they are giving to people on credit. Then you come, you say, I'm selling. Then you can say 2 cedis. You say, oh, I want credit. No, me, I don't give credit. Then you are there, then your tomatoes are rotting. Are getting rotten. You understand? Because you just jumped into it. You didn't study the pattern. Even where you are doing the business, you didn't try to understand what happens within that vicinity and all that. So that's why sometimes businesses fail. True. You get me? You are trying to start, like the lady was saying, a cook, food and, but you might even stop to ask yourself, why is it that it started well, it's not going well? Is it that my environment is not clean, that's why people are not coming? Is it that the quality of my food has changed? Is it that I'm not, you have to do a clear basis. It's not just, because it's gone down, okay, let me go and get loan. You will get loan and it will still go down because you haven't really taken your time to look at what challenges there are that you are facing in that business or where you are. Maybe the place that you were at the point in time that the business started, there was a school around that place and they were on campus. And they've gone on vacation. And so there's nobody there to buy your food.
They were even building and construction workers.
They finished building. So you get me? And so it's important that you put your mind to everything that you do. You shouldn't take things for granted.
True.
Everything that you do, you put your mind to it, and with prayer, because life revolves around prayer.
And that is what we are going to talk about when we come from the break. We are going to look at faith and God's timing, and then mental health and emotional resilience, how this young lady can get herself out of the hopelessness that she feels herself in. We'll be right back after the break. Do not go anywhere. This is Real Talk.
Foundation presents Single Summit 2025 on the 1st of May 2025 at the National Theatre at exactly 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. The facilitators are Mrs. Akosia Ago Abuaje, a broadcast journalist. She will dissect building your communication skills. Chaplain Kenopi K. Ndiodu, who is a pastor, he will also dissect how to live a chaste life. Professor Mrs. Stella Apia will also help you to choose God's ideal for marriage. Dr. Morris Mensah, naturopath, will also help you to take care of your health. For more enquiries, call 024-669-5754. You can also dial *447*714#. Ticket code is HV56. Single Summit 2025. Remember, it's 1st May 2025 at the National Theatre at exactly 12 p.m. The rate is 100 Ghana cedis only. See you there.
Welcome back from the break. We are still in the studios of Hope TV Ghana, coming your way with Real Talk. My name is Evie. I have been doing this with Ni Ayite Hammond. He is the channel manager for Hope TV, and Raymond Kweku Boating. If you just joined us, you've missed quite a very important part of the show, but I'll just keep you updated with a little snippet of the story. Young lady graduates, wants to get a job, sent applications upon applications out, nothing. She decided to go into business, cook and sell. It started out well. Along the line, everything ended. She went for a loan to come and push her business. Unfortunately, that did not work. Now, aside the fact that her business has failed, she owes the bank money. She is at the verge of giving up, thinking that she is a failure and thinking that God does not care about her. And we are having this conversation to let her know that all hope is not lost. She can get back on her feet. So before we went on the break, I wanted us to talk about mental health. But before we go in there, Mr. Amo, you were talking about going for a loan and things. Raymond, I want to ask you, should you borrow money to start a business? Is this something you would advise?
Okay, okay. For me, I would say it depends on what you want to do with the borrowed money, okay. And secondly, where you are going to borrow the money from.
Okay.
You are going to borrow the money from. So, I think in the story's case, I don't know if it is from the bank. Definitely, I wouldn't advise for that. I wouldn't advise for that because it will come definitely with something that you pay apart from the loan, and it is very time bound. And if the business do not flourish or go as you expect it to be, definitely you are going to be in a challenge.
Yeah.
So, from what Mr. Hammond said, I think in any stage of our lives, when you want to embark on anything, be disciplined and be committed to it. Be committed to it. Assess available options that you can have a capital to start your business with. If hopefully from your savings or a family member who can borrow it for you and wouldn't take it back with interest or any other stuff, I think that will help well. Then secondly, if you can't run it alone, and you may need 2 or 3 individuals who can bring something together for you to start up with. I think it's very cool. You can sell the idea, they bring up the money, then together you run the program or the business. I think that is also advisable. That's also advisable. And I also heard of individuals who come for programs that they'll run a patch. I don't know how they put it in the business term. That you sell your business idea if they think it is very achievable, let me put it that way, very smart, then they can invest in that, then help you to run that business. Right. Then I think, in as much as you also explore, make sure you build connections that you think when business ideas pop up, you can run to them to help you run such programs or such ideas. And I think that'll help. But just on the face value, going for money from the bank or investment company to run a business with less experience or don't even know the market audience, I think that's very serious. That's very serious and not advisable from my point of view.
It's not a risk that was calculated for. Near time, when I'll ask you to speak on just your quick opinion on borrowing money to start a business. But then my main question to you has to do with how you keep hope alive, how you keep hope alive when everything seems to be going against you. Nobody's calling you for a job. You start a business, it fails. If you used to sell 50 balls of banku, now even one you can't sell. Like everything seems to be going against you. How do you keep hope alive? And would you advise someone to go for a loan to start a business?
If you don't have money and you want to start a business, you have to go for a loan.
Okay.
But loan is a loan. It could be from a family, it could be from a friend, it could be from an institution.
Yeah.
But it's a loan.
Yeah.
But if you are going for a loan, know that you have to pay back. Even if it's from a family, even if it's from your father or your mother, you plan to pay back. You don't assume that, oh, this one is for my father, so pay back and let him say keep it. You get me?
Yeah.
But if you go with a mindset of I don't intend to pay back, your business is also likely to fail. Because it is that mindset you'd go into the business with.
True.
You understand it? So if you don't have money, you do it. But you don't also go for a loan to just do any kind of business. You must be clear in your mind. You must have done your research. You must have done all your background checks to know that you are not going to throw this money away. Things happen. You get me? When those unexpected things happen, I mean, force majeure, we know it's not. But beyond that, don't just carry yourself and say, I've seen Evie do a phone business, so I'm also going to do a phone business. No. Take your time and understand what kind of business you're going to do and what it takes to do that business and how you're going to do it. And strategize. If it needs to seek advice, do so. Because we sometimes underestimate the power of friendship. You get me? Because here I am, I want to go into a business. Let's say I don't have any knowledge in that area, but I can come to you and tell you what I want to do because you're my friend. You've done marketing, for example, or you've done accounting, for example. So maybe you can help me with this knowledge that I'm trying to share with a 3-year plan. You get me? So that I don't expect that in 6 months I'm making X profit all of a sudden. You can help me with, let's say, a 3-year plan. This friend who did marketing can help me with the marketing strategy and how can. So you tap into. That's why it's always good to have friends.
Sensible
you get
friends.
Me? Thank you. You get me? So you tap into that in any field that you're doing, not only trying to start a business, anything that you tap into the knowledge of the friends that you have, whether colleagues or elderly people, or sometimes even those who are far younger than you, but you tap into knowledge. You get me? That's how you have to do it.
Yeah,
so.
And then hope, like when all hope seems to be lost, how do you keep it alive? Because she's saying that it looks like God has forgotten about me. It looks like he doesn't care. How do we get this young lady back to a point where she believes that there's hope and everything will be okay?
You have to believe in God. If you don't know God, find him. And understand. Could you imagine, with my human thought, how God would feel when Satan decided to disobey? When he's done all things perfect. And one of the perfect beings decide to disobey.
Yeah.
It's like all things are lost.
Yeah.
You get me? But he held himself together and is still on the move. You get me? And so you must understand the God that you serve. he never fails.
Yeah.
He never lets down. You get me? He can give you the rope. But when you get stuck and you turn and you return, he accepts you.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes we feel that God has left us. But we fail at that point in time to go within to ask ourselves, what is it that I've been doing wrong? Or what is it that I've been doing right? When everything seems lost, it gives you an opportunity instead of going into depression, because they are all choices.
Yeah.
Instead of going into depression, to strengthen yourself by the word. Because in the beginning was the word.
Yes.
And the word was with God, and the word was God. And that word carries us through to the end. You understand me?
Yeah.
And so when things are not working for you, go to the word. Speak to your God and work on yourself. Because he's told us, I will never leave you nor forsake you. And so if you believe, what didn't David go through? What didn't Elijah, you know, what didn't my father go through? You know, sometimes when we speak about David, you know, it looks like so far away.
Yeah.
But look around you. What did my father go through? What did my aunties or some of my siblings go through? So it is nothing new. It's nothing strange. You get me? And sometimes you even need to encourage yourself with the story of Joseph. You get me? There's this saying that always excites me when I hear, you know, if God can show you the end like he did to Joseph, he showed him that his siblings were going to bow to him, etc. He was excited. If he had showed him the process, Joseph might have said that it's okay.
I don't want them to bow to me. It's fine.
Yes. you get me? So sometimes the process, when we are going through it, we seem to think that God has left us alone.
Yeah.
You get me? When Joseph was put in the hole, when he was being sold into slavery, when he went to the prisons, it's like, God, what? You left me.
Yeah.
You gave me this promise. How can my brothers bow before me in prison?
Yeah. Doesn't seem possible.
You get it? So when we are going through difficult and challenging times, let us always remind ourselves that could this be the process, but the end thereof.
Yeah.
And so you have faith and hold on to your Bible, your scriptures, and hold on to the faith of Christ Jesus and move, knowing that the end is better than the beginning. And move.
The comeback is always better than the setback. Raymond, I would ask you to speak on faith. I mean, knowing as you started by saying that, oh, you're in the field, you know, making sure that hopefully when you get to head a church. Then my question to you will be on faith. How should she hold on to faith so that we can come to an end? Okay, so in adding to what Mr. Hammond has said, he or she should redefine what failure is to that person. There is saying that first attempt in learning, fail. So is she doing the best for now? There's this song by Shakira in Zootopia, a movie that at times we do our best but we come last, though we did our best. So perhaps all these years her best is quite not the best. So she should reassess herself and see that there is still hope. There's still hope. And I think she should also be grateful for how far the good Lord has been with her. The successes that she got during her days of studies is fine to keep her going. Yeah. And she shouldn't compare her progress with, his or her progress with that of
the friends, because in the story he said that the friends are doing well, but he or she is still at where he is, and I think he shouldn't do that. It is fine that he wants hope. He wants somebody to talk to, and I think that, as Mr. Amon said, God is there waiting for him. And at times we don't even know how to express our grief.
Yeah.
But like in Luke 9, there's this man who came to Jesus with the child. The child was dumb, and Jesus asked him, "Do you believe that I can help?" He says, "I believe, but still strengthen my unbelief." So at times we know that in days of trouble, we can't even express ourselves in prayer. And I think Romans chapter 8 says that the Spirit with groanings which can be altered intercedes on our behalf. So he or she should go back to God in prayer. And as he prays, he's also rethink through his life purposes. What perhaps it's not his path that he wants to pursue. God wants to save him from a path that will not help him. As he used Joseph's example, Joseph knew the path, and he knew the God that he was serving. So let's have that walk with God, knowing that indeed it is going to be well with us. There's this story that is told about an orator who was being asked to recite Psalm 23. Actually, he was reciting Shakespearean literatures at a certain party. Then there was this priest at the party who later called this orator that, "You are doing well with the Shakespearean literature. Can you recite Psalm 23? And he said, "Yeah, I was taught when I was a child." So he started rattling Psalm 23. Then after that, he asked the priest to also come and recite Psalm 23. Then the priest goes this way: "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." Quite slow, and even the audience began to cry. So
it was
having some
emotional
read. Then they asked the orator, "What is the difference between you reciting Psalm 23 and the priest doing?" He says that, "I know the psalm, but the priest knows the shepherd, knows the shepherd, and that's the difference in that." Good. So you all attend church, you all pray to God, but do you have a walk with God? Do you know that shepherd, that he has a plan for you from Jeremiah, that plan of good, not of evil, to give us hope and an expected end. So, and I think as he or she prays more, then as he said, seek guidance, counseling. I've worked at this for 5 years. I've worked at this for 2 years. I've worked this out. It's not working out. It's not only enough praying. You need to also set goals, realistic goals.
Yeah.
They taught us smart, simple, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time bound. So you do that. You go to people to seek counsel. You avail yourself for work. And I think if you do that and in God's favor, there will definitely be a breakthrough. And those that we mostly hear who are successful, as he said, have gone through struggles.
Oh, yeah.
And I believe perhaps his has begun, and it might be a building block for him. You don't know what awaits that individual. But if he goes through this now, I believe that the subsequent years to come will always be of a blessing for that
I
person.
absolutely agree. Thank you guys so much for coming. Niaite Amond, thank you for being in the studios of Hope TV, not just as the channel manager, but as my panelist. I think this one, they should come and take the picture. I want to put it down for history moment and record it. Thank you so much, Raymond, for coming. My prayer is that as you complete your national service, whatever goals you've set for yourself, the good Lord will make sure it comes to pass for you. Thank you so much for listening to us today. I think the conversation has been one that I have learned from, and I'm sure the young lady that sent in her story and whoever is listening to us from home has also learned a lot from. I don't have much to say, just believe in God. He took you through the course that you studied in school. He knows your beginning from your end. He already knows your future. So go back to him, rely on him, cry all your tears on him. Even if you can't pray, just ask him to just save you, and he will be there for you. God is always there for us. He doesn't sleep nor slumber. The 7 hours, 8 hours that you're sleeping, he's still awake, guarding and protecting you. He will get you through this difficult situation. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back same time next week with yet another interesting conversation on Real Talk. But until then, please continue to enjoy the rest of the content on Hope TV Ghana. My name is Evie, and I'll be back same time next week with another interesting episode of Real Talk. Do have yourselves a lovely evening.
Enikasɛm bɛn ne kyɛn sɛ yie sɛ anuanom so kumansa na ɔgyegye ne taataa ɛwɔ bra akwantuo mu. Hwɛ, yɛn nuabaa gye ne sapɔn. Kyerɛkyerɛni a ne ho si ne ho so na ɔkɔba daa tete mmɔfra. Ɔbaatan a ɔhwɛ ne mma ne nne yareɛ pɛ sɛ ɛbɔ n'atenaseɛ.
Efi kakra mu no, yɛde di awie ɛwɔ sukuu mu. Besɔre nnoa no na pɛm so ɛwɔ hospitals ahodoɔ. Kɔmfanɔkyefoɔ na maame hu sɛ spinal cord ɛho aka na ɔmo yɛ sɛ ɔsɛ mekɔyɛ surgery. Ɛdi kan akɔyɛ surgery ɛdi kan. Ɛkɔyɛ MRI bi mu ayɛ sɛ n'akyi no mpɛne nyinaa rere. Ti akɔba sɛ yɛde me kɔ India ɛkɔyɛ me surgery na yɛde nadeɛ ɛkɔhyɛ m'akyi. Busuafoɔ apɛm so biara mesumehu ne sɛ n'abusua kɛseɛ ɛne mu. Nti ebere yi no mebaeɛ a na yɛ adesrɛdeɛ na mede bɛto mo anim. Sɛ obi biara a ɔbɛte me nka anaasɛ bɛhwɛ video yi bi ɛsrɛ ne sɛ ɛmmoa bi a obɛtumi de aboa me biara no ɔnsɔpɔte me sɛ mehia $22,000 na yɛde akɔyɛ. Sɛ nyɛ dadeɛ yi a ntumi nkɔ mɛkɔ ade sɛ dadeɛ na sɛ biribi hyɛ m'akyi sɛ ade no so nhyɛ m'akyi a ntumi ntena ase ɛbi ade sɛ meda hɔ.
Wei nti ɔdɔfoɔ wɔn nso bɛtumi de ɔmmoa sika fam aba MTN number yi so 024 375 7428 anaa telecell 020 956 0591 anaasɛ Ghana Commercial Bank account a egu screen yi so yi. Yɛn nkyerɛ yɛ dɔ na nyame nhyira yɛn na nhyira no ama yɛn nuabaa Janet Sapon nso atumi anante bie.
Hope Channel is my favorite Christian channel. The best thing about it is that you can have it everywhere you go. All you need to do is to download the Hope Channel app on your Play Store or Apple Store and get all the programs you want to watch.
Hope Channel, changing lives.
Welcome once again, you and your family and all your friends, as we share God's word together. It's time to get our Bibles, read God's word, and